Hi, my name's Francesca. I'm 34 years old and I have just completed the Thrive programme. And I just want to tell you a bit about my story, my journey, and what Thrive's done for me. In a sentence, it's changed my life. It has genuinely changed so many things. And I'll tell you a bit about my background. For as long as I can remember, I have suffered with emetophobia, and it's at times got so bad that all I could think about was vomit. It was all consuming. I'd be asked out by friends, for drinks, and the first thought that I would have would be, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? I would love to be able to go, but I'm not going to be able to, because there's probably going to be someone sick, and how would I cope with that? And what if I saw it? What if I smelt it? All of these things, and all of those thoughts would create this just intense anxiety, and I would ultimately end up making up an excuse and not going on nights out, and sitting at home, beating myself up for not going out, feeling helpless, and like I had no control over the situation, and emetophobia had control over me, not the other way around. So I've also always been very obsessive about cleaning and hygiene. So I would clean my house every weekend, and religiously. I work full time, and so Saturdays and Sundays are meant to be, your 2 days to kick back and relax and do what you want to do. Yeah, I'd be spending my Saturday cleaning my house from top to bottom. And if I didn't do that, I had this voice in my head just saying, you're useless and you're lazy, and, if you don't do your cleaning, you're not a good person. And, completely crazy. But that is the way I'd thought, and that's the way I'd lived for as long as I could remember. So, it was the norm for me. And I just thought, look, this is my lot, suck it up. Get on with it. To the outside world, all my friends, my family, I always came across as a very super confident, happy, carefree person. How I felt inside couldn't have been more opposite to that. I felt like I had a mask on all the time. I felt like I wasn't. Yeah, it was a mask to the outside world, and then I'd come home and take that mask off, and all that would be left was this feeling, this emptiness, and feeling of loneliness. And I basically spent the majority of my time feeling really quite sad, and hopeless. I've been through a couple of different therapies to try and help cure my emetophobia. I've done group cognitive behavioural therapy, I've done individual CBT, and I've done hypnotherapy, and none of them worked. So I'd resigned myself to the fact that I was stuck with it, and just had to deal with it in the best way I could, which I wasn't dealing with it at all. I was avoiding it. I was avoiding situations to do with it. It was affecting my social life, it was affecting my relationships, it was affecting everything. But I just thought I had no control. I had no control over it. It had control over me, and that was that. So in March, I ended my relationship with my boyfriend, and I was sat at work one day feeling, miserable and unhopeful about the future, standard thoughts. And I decided to Google ways or options of how to cure emetophobia. do a bit of research about it. And it was purely to distract my mind from how crap I felt about splitting up with my boyfriend. So I Googled it, and I came across the Thrive programme by Rob Kelly, Cure Your Emetophobia and Thrive. This little beauty. And I started reading a bit on the website and people's testimonies, and I just found I was relating to everything that these people were saying, you know, how they felt before they went through the programme and how they now feel. And I thought, that's how I feel, and that's how I want to feel. I want to feel like those people. And so I thought I'll look and see if there's a consultant in my area. And sure enough, there was, and his name was Eddie. And I thought, give him a ring. So I did, and I booked my first taster session with him. You'll have to excuse the noise in the background. Trains, very loud, so apologies. So anyway, I booked my first session with him. I had no preconceived ideas of what to expect. I wasn't all that hopeful that this was going to be the thing that changed my life, because I hadn't had any success with any of the other therapies. But, you know, I thought, what have I got to lose? Give it a go. So I went to my first session with Eddie, and he asked me to complete a few tests to gauge my my self-esteem, my social anxiety. I knew the scores wouldn't be very high, but I didn't think that they'd be quite as low as they were. They were really low. Well, my self-esteem levels were practically non-existent. My social anxiety scores were through the roof, and I genuinely really didn't like myself very much. So by the end of my first taster session, I signed up to the full course. I ordered the Thrive book, and I decided that I would put the work into this, and just see what came out of it. You know, I had nothing to lose. You know, I couldn't feel any more rubbish about myself than I already did. So, you know, the only way was up. So I had my second session with Eddie, and it was a hard session. It was emotional. I really opened up to him about how I was feeling, how isolated I felt, how crappy I felt about myself. I didn't like anything. I couldn't name one thing I liked about myself. And it was hard, but I came out of the session for the first time feeling like, hang on, this could be something good. You know, I could see how, you know, there could be light at the end of the tunnel. So I initially signed up to the course to cure my emetophobia, but it became apparent very early on that my low self-esteem and my incredibly high social anxiety were the two main things that were kind of holding me back, and making me feel miserable, and not good enough. And I was the only one that could change them. Thrive taught me how, it gave me the techniques to stop looking at everything through shit tinted glasses and to actually start being a bit kinder to myself. Something that was totally alien to me, and I did struggle with at first. You know, doing something or rewarding myself for doing something. Well, not doing anything. Rewarding myself for not doing anything. You know, what the hell? It was just completely bizarre to me. But I tried it. And the first way I tried it was, instead of doing my cleaning one day, I decided I wasn't going to do it. I was going to do exactly what I wanted to do for the day. Not because I felt I'd earned it through doing anything in particular, just because I could. So this one particular Saturday, I sat in my pyjamas all day, eating pizza and chocolate and watching whatever I wanted to watch on the telly. And there was no voice in my head telling me I was lazy, telling me to get up off my arse and clean. And it was like a weight, a small weight, had been lifted. And to not have that pressure, on me, but it was pressure that I'd been putting on myself all these years. No one else had been doing it. It was me. And that was gone. So I started to become a lot more aware of my thoughts, and being able to recognise a negative thought and thinking, but what is this doing for me? How is it benefiting me? And just getting rid of the thought, getting rid of the negative thought in whatever way I needed to, whether it's going out and having a cigarette or making a cup of tea or thinking a good thought instead. I found it quite amazing how such a small thing, such a small change made such a big difference to how I felt inside and how I felt about myself. And actually, my outlook on everything started to change. I started focusing on what I was grateful for, what kind of day I wanted to have. So, my alarm would go off in the morning, and before I would have this sense of dread about what the day had in store and how difficult it was going to be and how crappy I was going to feel about myself and how others probably looked at me and thought I was crap and, all of these horrid thoughts, negative thoughts. But instead, I started waking up and I started thinking, now, what kind of day do I want? Because ultimately, I have control of what kind of day I have. And if I want it to be a good day, it'll be a good day. And who wouldn't want to wake up every morning and have a good day? So, yeah, I started doing that every day and really thinking about what I was grateful for. Things that I'd never even things that hadn't even registered with me. The sun shining in the morning, the birds, waking up to hearing birds, it's stuff that I'd never even thought about. It was just a noise in the background that, So, sorry, I know I'm waffling a bit, but bear with me. So, the Thrive programme, it's been a real eye-opener. It's been a real eye-opener for me. It's completely changed my perception of me. I actually like myself. When I look in the mirror, I don't hate what I see. I can appreciate all of my good points. And, when I wake up in the morning now, I look forward to what the day has in store. That black cloud has gone and it's been replaced with sunshine. And it's all down to how I process my thoughts. It's as simple as that. And I'm the only one in control of me. Nobody else has any control over me unless I allow them to. And that's a really powerful thing to finally be able to get. I am responsible for how I feel, how I react, all of those things. So it's been a real a journey and a half for me. I couldn't have done it without Eddie. As fantastic as the Thrive book is on its own, I don't think I could have just bought the book off the internet, sat and read it and done the exercises and got as much out of it as I have done going to see Eddie once a week. My sessions with him really gave me that little extra boost to feel confident that I had the skills and the ability to change my life for the better. I genuinely feel like I'm thriving every day. I feel happy. I feel so much happier being me. Being me is enough. It never felt like it was enough before, and now it feels like I deserve to be happy. And it's a genuine feeling. It's not a mask that I put on anymore, you know, and it's incredible. I'd recommend this program to anyone. I can't say enough good things about it. In terms of my emetophobia, you know, there are still times that I worry about vomit, but it doesn't take over my life anymore. Sorry, message just came through on my phone. Very distracting. Okay, sorry. It doesn't stop me going out now, and I know that I have the tools and techniques to be able to control my anxiety, not let it build up, because that was ultimately what was causing me the issue, was my anxiety. And who was creating that anxiety? Me. So who can stop creating it? Me. So, you know, I feel confident that if the situation arises and I'm in a pub or I'm out or wherever I am and I see someone vomit, I can deal with it. You know, it's life. We're all sick from time to time. We're all going to see someone be sick from time to time. That is just life. But the main thing that I have got out of this is a feeling of, I feel worthy. I feel happy, positive. You know, I'm not looking at the future through shit-tinted glasses. You know, the glasses have well and truly been removed and thrown in the bin. And it's a good feeling. I feel good. So thanks very much for listening. And if this is the start of your Thrive journey, you lucky things. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic, and I wouldn't have changed any of it for the world. And thumbs up to you, Eddie. You're an absolute legend. Thanks. Bye.